A member of the rose family, the hawthorn, Crataegus monogyna, is a thorny flowering tree or shrub native to temperate regions in Europe, North America and Northern Asia, and are a very common sight along hedgerows in England. It has beautiful pink-white blossom in May and ruby-red berries in autumn. The appearance of the May blossom was the herald of the end of the winter and the beginning of the summer. It grows in almost any soil. The small leaf is lobed like an oak. The lobes are cut at least halfway to the midrib. The bark is cracked and the tree is thorny. The small fruits are fleshy and usually have one stone. The hawthorn is a fantastic tree for wildlife that can support more than 300 species of insects. Its flowers are eaten by dormice and provide nectar and pollen for bees and other pollinating insects. The haws are rich in antioxidants and are eaten by migrating birds. Though the tiny sweet red berries, haws, are used in jams, jellies, candies and wines, all parts of the plants, leaves, flowers, berries and stems, even the bark, have long been used in herbal medicine as digestive, kidney and anti-anxiety aids. It's also prominent as a tonic for treating cardiac diseases and for strengthening the aging heart, a use that dates back to the 1st century. During the Middle Ages, hawthorn was employed for the treatment of dropsy, a condition that's now called congestive heart failure. The first study on hawthorn, published in 1896, reported on 43 patients suffering from various forms of heart disease who were treated with hawthorn with promising results. In modern times, this ancient medicinal herb, which is widely available in many forms as a dietary supplement, is still popular for its effects on heart health, primarily angina, congestive heart failure and high blood pressure. The leaves, flowers and berries of hawthorn contain an abundance of antioxidants and also flavonoids, which are thought to be responsible for its pharmacological effect. According to a report by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, scientists think hawthorn benefits the heart by causing a dilation of the smooth muscle that lines the coronary arteries, thereby increasing blood flow to the heart. The hawthorn syrup is made in 3 steps, but first you have to make a tincture, and you'll need 3 cups of dried hawthorn berries or 4 cups of fresh hawthorn berries and 750 millilitres of brandy, about 3 cups. Add the hawthorn berries to a sanitized wide-mouthed quart jar. Pour the brandy over the berries so that all the berries are covered with brandy. Infuse the hawthorn berries in the alcohol for 4 weeks. Check the alcohol level over the next 5 days and top up the jar with brandy and keep the berries submerged in the alcohol. Shake the jar once a day or as often as you remember. After 4 weeks, strain the berries from the alcohol. The alcohol is now your hawthorn tincture, but don't discard the berries, you'll need them in step 2. Add the strained berries to a 1.5 quart stainless steel pot. Pour over 4 cups of filtered water and simmer gently for an hour. After an hour, strain out the berries, squeeze them through a potato ricer or a jelly bag to get as much juice as you can. The berries can be composted. Once you have squeezed the berries, you should be left with 2 cups of decoction. You now need to add 2 cups of honey to the decoction. Heat gently, keeping the temperature to just below boiling in order to fully dissolve the honey. Remove from the heat as soon as the honey is fully melted. Measure the syrup and add 1/4 cup of hawthorn berry tincture from step 1 for every cup of prepared syrup. Store in sterilised bottles. This syrup is preserved both by the alcohol and the honey in the recipe. For short-term storage, place the bottles in the fridge. For long-term storage, Dip the cap and neck of the bottles in melted beeswax to make a beeswax seal. Sterilised and sealed bottles will last 1 year if kept in a cool place and protected from light. Open bottles should last 3 months in the fridge. The dosage of the syrup is half a teaspoon 3 times a day, and the dosage for the tincture from step 1 is 2 millilitres 3 times a day, but always check with a health professional before taking any medications. To make hawthorn berry ketchup, you need 500 grams of hawthorn berries. I used frozen but defrosted them overnight. 300 millilitres of apple cider vinegar, 300 millilitres of water, 170 grams of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and some freshly ground black pepper. To begin with, wash the berries and remove the stalks. Add to a large pan with the 300 millilitres of water and the 300 millilitres of vinegar and bring to the boil. Allow to simmer for approximately half an hour until the skins of the berries begin to burst. Take off the heat and pour the contents of the pan through a sieve. Push the pulp through a sieve to remove the stones and skin, and then transfer the liquid to a clean pan. Add the sugar and place over a low heat, stirring often to dissolve the sugar. Once dissolved, bring back to the boil and simmer for 5 to 10 minutes more until syrup-like and reduced. Season the ketchup to taste with salt and pepper and transfer to sterilised bottles. The ketchup is good to use for a year.